Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at race number 10 at Gulfstream Park on Saturday, part of the Sunshine Millions program. This race, the filly and mare turf. Before we get started, I want to remind everybody about this great new contest on DRF.com. Cast your vote for Horse of the Year in DRF's Eclipse Awards Fan Vote Sweepstakes presented by Woodbine. Vote and be entered to win a trip to the Queen's Plate at Woodbine this June. Visit DRF.com/Eclipse today. Let's take a look at the field for the Sunshine Millions filly and mare turf. Mike, we've got the defending champion in this race, and she is mired in the far outside post position. That is the number 13, Starship Jubilee. Coming off of a loss last time out at Odds On in the Claiming Crown Tiara, she had a tough outside post position that day, and I wonder if Paco Lopez had to use her a little bit too hard in the early portion of that race to clear and get over, and it sapped her stretch kick.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe that's a real possibility. I mean, I don't want to make too many excuses for her. She was dropping out of a Grade 1 race there, in a Grade 1 race where she ran really well, and then was defeated at 3-5. But maybe the outside post compromised her a little bit. It did seem like Paco got a little aggressive with her early. She came up empty at the end. Disappointing performance last time. If she can rebound, she's just way the horse to beat, but she's got a tough outside post again.
Does have a tough outside post again. She does have good early speed, as we saw in the last race. And last year, she was the beaten favorite in the Claiming Crown Tiara, and she rebounded with an off-the-pace score in the Sunshine Millions filly and mare turf. I agree with you that she's the horse to beat, but in following her career, for most of her career, I've noticed that she kind of runs to the level of her competition. She'll surprise in graded stakes company when no one thinks she has a chance to run well, and then you'll drop her into some of these restricted races, and sometimes she just doesn't show up. I'm not sure it's a recipe for me to want to take a short price.
Yeah, I totally understand that way of looking at her. I mean, if you just, go through her form, especially over the last couple of years, I mean, she's just supposed to be a real handful in here, a multiple graded stakes winner on the grass, facing horses like this. But you're right. I mean, there are plenty of races in the past where she just didn't show up with her best.
Let's take a look at the Timeform U.S. pace projector for this race. And this time around, they believe that the 13 Starship Jubilee will be sitting off of it. The 12 Madame Uno, one of a few in here, trained by David Fox, is expected to make the run. Timeform U.S. believes the pace can be fast. Madame Uno reeled off a couple of really nice wins to begin 2018 for Fox, two of them at Gulfstream Park. But last time out in the Ginger Punch, I didn't think she got the right ride. I mean, I know it was 6 months ago, 7 months ago. She may completely need the race. She was odds on that day. She broke well. She had the lead in the rail with a long shot to her outside, and the jock just took a hold of her and took her back and off of the rail, and I wonder if that just checked her momentum.
Yeah, it was sort of an odd situation last time. I agree with you, because she's a horse who obviously likes to be up there making the running, and she had a chance to do that last time, and for whatever reason, they elected to turn another horse loose. I think maybe it cost her last time. I think you really have to be worried in this spot about the layoff with her. We haven't seen her since the middle of June. She has a quality speed to her outside. Even if you think Starship Jubilee's rating this time, that horse is going to come out of the gate running from post 13, so we'll see what kind of trip Madame Uno can get. If she could come back off of this layup with her best race, I think she's pretty dangerous.
Winner of the Millions filly and mare turf preview is in here. That's the number 2, Picara. Todd Pletcher, John Velasquez, very versatile runner who can work out a forward trip while saving ground in behind the speeds. Last time out, I just thought she got away to a nice, easy lead. Timeform US thought it was good. She had to go fast to get that lead. I'm not sure I completely concur with that, but I like the way she quickened when asked for run in the stretch. If she works out a nice pocket trip here, I'm expecting a similar finish.
Yeah, you and I both agree on this horse. I didn't think that pace was fast at all last time. I just thought she had all the best of it, getting to the front with no trouble at all and controlling that pace. She had plenty left when she was set down in the stretch and kicked away from that field. I think it's a different scenario here. There's speed to her outside. She's facing better horses. I'll respect the fact that she's 2 for 2 since Pletcher stretched her out, but I think this is a way tougher spot.
Big fan of the 8, Mrs. Ramona G. There were question marks going into her most recent race at Gulfstream, whether she wanted to go 2 turns. I guess she answered it in the affirmative, although she really had a candy trip, saving ground in behind the lead. She had to bull her way out in mid-stretch, but she had to work long and hard to get up late against weaker horses. Now she's got to go a little bit further, chasing a fast pace. We know she likes to be forward. I'm a little concerned about the mile and a 16th here.
I'm concerned about all those things as well. She's a pretty nice horse at 4 for 6 in her life on the turf. And I'm with you. It was nice to see her show that she could win going a mile last time, but she got such a perfect trip in that race. You know, as time goes on, I think you have to just sort of look at her and say, you know what? She gets nothing but perfect trips in her races. She's just that kind of horse. She has that kind of tactical speed. She doesn't need the lead, but she'll sit up close to the pace and then still finish. So those are things you like about her. I still think she has to really improve in this spot.
What'd you think of Thinking Cowtown, the rail horse's most recent run? It was her first start since the Filly and Mare Turf Preview, where she was actually favored that day over Picara. She didn't run at all at Gulfstream West. I think getting back to the home cooking over the Gulfstream Park main course can help. She picked up a few horses late against Mrs. Ramona G. I think the mile and a 16th will be okay for her. She hasn't tried it much, though, in her career.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, she's just one of those horses who has recently been running against several horses she'll be facing again here and just hasn't been up to the task against them. Maybe this race sets up the right way for her and she gets a piece. I couldn't take her on top.
Treasure of Gold reeled off 3 in a row, and then she tried Stakes Company, and that win streak was snapped in a hurry. Is it simply a situation where these stakes horses are a bit too tough for her?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, we'll see what happens. She's one of several of horses in this race who's been facing nothing but straight 3-year-olds sort of lately on the turf, and now they're going to face some older horses. I think some better older horses. I don't see the race so far that Treasure for Gold has run that makes her a real threat in this race.
The number 4, Warranty, also won 3 in a row towards the end of 2017 and 2018. That was for Chad Brown. This one's now with Michael Maker, always dangerous at a price. And last time out, while Picara was just coasting on the lead, Warranty kind of mid-moved into the pace and then flattened it out. I think it was a sneaky good effort, but her recent races have been kind of slow on the buyer scale.
I agree with all that stuff. I do think this race might set up a lot better for her. I think she does have a race in her that would get her a big look at this thing in the stretch if it sets up the right way, and she will come running at the end. I thought she had no chance last time. This is a horse I could use at a price.
Weekend Mischief won last time out in a race that was washed off. She has yet to crack the exacta from 7 tries on the turf, but some of her turf races are not that bad. If there's a fast pace, maybe she comes running late. I think it's a bit tough, though.
Yeah, another one of those newly turned 4-year-olds who will take on some better horses here. She's 0 for 7 on the grass so far, and it doesn't get any easier for her in this race, I don't think.
Couldn't find the excuse for Florida Fuego 2 starts back in the Sellers Shiraz. I thought all in all, Sammy Camacho gave her a really nice trip. She saved ground in behind the leaders. She had the rail open up in the stretch. She came with the run and she was just outfinished. Maybe those open 3-year-old fillies were too tough for her. Third start of the form cycle, getting back to a surface. While she hasn't won on turf, I think she's just as capable, if not better, on this surface than dirt.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think she probably is equally good on this surface. So far, all 3 of her wins sprinting on the main track, but I think she's okay on turf, and I think she'll get this distance. She's going to be a price in this race.
Like Florida Fuego, the 7 Surprise Wedding going dirt to turf, both trained by David Falk. She showed big speed sprinting last time out in the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl. It was just too tough a spot for her. But 2 starts back on the turf. I wonder if she didn't like being rated. I think she's a filly that needs to be front and freewheeling on the lead. Maybe she can handle being rated. Again, another situation where she's a turf maiden.
Yeah, and her running style, I don't know if it really suits this race, although, because I think you're right. I think she's better if you can let her use her speed, and that's really going to work against her in this race.
Similar situation with Todd Pletcher's 9, Shanghai Scarlet, a horse that has not won from 2 starts on the turf, a winner last time out on the dirt in the Millions Distaff. Kind of an interesting spot here for Todd, another filly that I think likes to be forward and might prefer dirt. Yeah, Pletcher's got a few horses in this race. It just feels like maybe he's just taking a shot in this race. We'll see what happens. This is a horse that I felt like it was pretty hard to get behind. She did run well last time, though. If the pace does collapse, maybe Bitacora can get a piece at a price. The 11, she came with the run last time out. I thought that was a good race that did not have a lot of pace. Might be a 180-degree different scenario from a pace standpoint, and she's pretty honest, 12 of 25 in the exacta. Yeah, I thought she ran pretty well last time. I don't think that race set up great for her, and she put in a run through the stretch. She's one of those fillies, I think, or mares, I think, you know, maybe her best race will leave her a little short in here, but this race could really set up for her. If she can get a clean trip into a pace here, I think she can get a piece. Let's take a look at our top picks for the Sunshine Millions Filly and Mare Turf. I'm interested in your thoughts on my pick, the 10 Southern Sis. For Mark Cassey, switching to Irad Ortiz. Last time out, they ran her in that synthetic race, the OBS Sprint, and it looked like she was just going to slip right on through down towards the inside, turning into the lane. Tyler Gaffalione had to put on the brakes at the 3/16 pole, alter course 3 wide, and then she just blew by the field late. Now, this is a completely different situation, a turf route. That was a synthetic sprint. Distance might be an issue. She has run some decent races on the turf, Mike. I think that she's going to get a little bit of pace, and she's going to revert to those tactics that resulted in the win for the 50K tag back at the end of 2017. I can certainly understand anyone that says she's a little cheap.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I like her race last time. I thought that's maybe the best race she's ever run. I just don't like her turf races that much. We'll see if she can do a little bit better. That race 2 starts back. I don't know, man. Maybe it was just a situation with Pakara getting an easy lead, and that was all she wrote. But I don't know, man. I didn't think she ran that great in that race. I think she has to run the race of her life to win this.
Yeah, I can certainly understand. The way Pakara ran away from her when the real racing began, it makes you think that Southern Sis could be in deep water if that one runs a race. But you believe in Starship Jubilee simply being the best horse and not being rushed this time around.
Yeah, I'll take her. I hope that, Castellano's going to have to send her at least a little bit from the gate, but hopefully she can work out a more comfortable trip this time.
And I'll go 10, 8, 13, and 2 in the Sunshine Millions Filly and Mare Turf. Remember to cast your vote in the Daily Racing Form fan vote for Horse of the Year in DRF's Eclipse Awards fan vote sweepstakes presented by Woodbine. Vote and be entered to win a trip to the Queen's Plate at Woodbine this June. DRF.com/Eclipse is where you get all of the information. We'll see if Starship Jubilee can make it 2 in a row in the Sunshine Millions Fillies and Mare Turf. It's race number 10, approximate post 4:15 Eastern. Best of luck.